This is Gwyneth from Fixer Upper Fitness with my friends Zach Jones and Mr. Morgan Hazel.
Hello.
We are going live today to answer your questions. And today the question is...
We gotta plug the frequently asked questions at Fixer Upper Fitness.
It's so hard to say. I didn't want to stutter. But it says, I'm consistent in my workouts, but I'm not losing any weight. Help. I don't know if this has happened to you where you feel like you're going strong, you're being consistent, and you're not seeing any results. Of course, we talked about before that weight may not be the best indicator, but it is an easy way to track if you're losing any body fat. So, Zach, what would you do?
Well, first of all, like we talked about last time, I think it was last time, 2 times ago, SMART goals. You want to make sure your goals are accurate and attainable. First of all, you don't want to set a goal that you can't actually achieve. So make sure your goals are correct, but there's a couple of things you can do when you get in the gym, you get maybe on a plateau and you're not seeing the results that you want to see. Many folks, it's weight loss. Some folks, you're trying to get a little bit stronger, maybe a little mix in between. But one of the first things you want to do is you want to be able to mix it up on your cardiovascular exercise and your strength training. And those two things are sort of separate. You want to utilize cardiovascular exercise to help you lose the weight, to supplement with what you're doing in nutritionally. And then you want to use your strength training to actually do the toning that everyone wants to go after, the strength building, even more flexibility through strength training. So mix it up, try some different things on cardiovascular equipment, try a different machine, do interval training if you're doing walking or biking, check out the row machine, recumbent bike or spin class. Just mix it up, keep things fresh, keep your muscles guessing, if you will, and just keep it challenging. You want to make sure you can set your goal and your intensity of your workout so you're reaching the right heart rate range. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, I do want to say one of the first things we do when we start our exercise program is to say, wow, I'm exercising 2 or 3 times a week now. I can eat more. When in reality, the thing that affects weight loss the most and body fat loss is our nutrition and our diet. So as much as we do exercise to maintain a lot of the good things like muscle and bone mass and good proteins while we're trying to lose some of the excess energy storage that we have in the form of fat. So be careful when you exercise. Don't use that as an excuse to then increase your food consumption or to get a little sloppy in your diet.
Right.
And so talking about nutrition, Gwyneth may have some insight as she's our resident dietitian, to be able to talk to you about nutrition.
Yeah, I just want to encourage you guys that I'm all about mindful eating. So you might realize that when you're working out, you might feel a little hungrier after your workouts. So when you're fueling up before and after your workouts, making sure that you're choosing, good foods, not foods that are full of added sugar, saturated fats, things like that. You don't want to fuel up with that. You want to choose whole foods, fruits and vegetables, great lean sources of protein instead of fatty or sugary foods. Sometimes those are more convenient to eat, but try to avoid those when you're fueling up before and after your workouts.
All right. Yeah, so there's just some quick tips on both nutrition and cardiovascular strength training when you hit a plateau. The couple things to go a little deeper in those, and then to also give you a little bit of encouragement on the back end as well. Back to the cardiovascular, the ways to get over these plateaus, mix it up with your workouts and be conscious of what you're doing nutritionally. The other part about the workouts is make sure you're actually being honest with yourself on when you're in the gym. There's a lot of folks that think when you get in the gym, you can, whether on your cell phone or you're too anxious to challenge yourself and actually work really hard. Everyone else is grunting and throwing weights and that kind of stuff. And so it can be an intimidating place. But just keep in mind that when you have your goal, your SMART goal, it's you versus you and to work hard for what's hard for you, not what's hard for someone else. And so that's important when you're hitting the weights. Be honest with how hard you're working. For optimal strength gain, you want to stay like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 as far as your effort that you're putting in. For weight loss and cardiovascular, you want to say, how hard am I working? 4 or 5 or 6 for a long period of time. If you're on the bike for 30 minutes, kudos, nice job. But if it's a level 1 intensity, you're like, I could have done that for 6 years. You're not going to see the benefit that you want. So it's really important that you're honest with yourself on your effort level. And it's not talked about a whole lot when you're at the gym by yourself. And it's one of the benefits of having an accountability partner or a personal trainer is that they can kind of see how hard you're working and they're setting that for you. So be honest with yourself on your cardiovascular endurance and in your strength training, and work harder. You probably will have to work harder than you are right now to reach those goals. There's probably some place where there's a little slack, and I know it kind of stinks, but that's what going to the gym is all about, is to work a little bit harder. Nutritionally also, I don't want to step on your toes here, but give yourself a little bit of grace. If you do have something, we talked about this maybe last week, don't just throw the whole diet out the window or nutrition plan out the window because you had a scoop of ice cream. Like it's okay. Don't flip out if you have a bad day. Everyone's gonna have a bad day. The most fit person in the world has a bad day every once in a while, where they have that dessert that they wanted to have, or they just didn't feel like working out. It's okay. There's bad days in the gym and there's good days in the gym. Just take it all in stride, and you'll reach your goals slowly. It's all about that consistency, right?
Yeah.
One thing that would help folks to progress maybe is to keep an exercise journal.
That's true.
So when you go in and you do your treadmill for 30 minutes, write that down. I did treadmill 30 minutes at certain grade, at certain intensity. Then challenge yourself as you go along, maybe each week, to increase the grade or increase the intensity, or change to an elliptical or change to a recumbent bike, something that will challenge your body in a different way and increase the intensity, maybe without just making it harder on one piece of equipment. If you're doing resistance training, record your weights and the types of exercises that you do so that you can progress yourself slowly and safely, and you will see progression in your strength, in your ability to do more weight, your ability to handle more cardiovascular exercise. And over time, you'll see your progress, and that is kind of its own reward. When you look at that, you go, I've come a long way. But if you spend a year or 6 months or whatever at the same place, you're going to get to the end, you're going to feel distressed because you haven't made the progress that you could have made. And you're doing the same thing every day, and you're trying to get results by doing that. And it's better than doing nothing. But if you record your progression, you'll know where you came from, you know where you're going, and you can set goals for the future.
So to wrap it up, when you're feeling like you're not quite making your goals, or you feel like you've hit a plateau in your weight loss, let's mix it up. So mix up with your cardio work or your strength training, a different intensity or a different frequency, just some sort of way to mix it up. Maybe keeping a log is a great idea. And then make sure that you're being honest with yourself. Make sure you're challenging yourself in the gym. Make sure that you're being consistent with your nutrition. I think between those things, you should kind of see some results.
Right. Yeah, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, one more thing, two more things.
Zach.
Yeah, there's so much on there.
One more thing.
We can go on forever. And, this goes back to our SMART goals. Go back. Is that video on our Facebook?
It is, yeah.
Go back and learn about the SMART goals. That's where we started with all this. And then also to plug going forward, we're talking about nutrition aspects. We do have another workshop coming up in just a couple of weeks, I think, and we're going to talk about
February 8th.
February 8th. We're going to talk about
fad diets.
And
sometimes that has a bad rap, but good diets, bad diets, all sorts of diets, we'll kind of break it down.
So we'd love for y'all to come out and learn a little bit more about that and how to use nutrition to help you reach your goals for the year. All right.
Awesome. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, friends.
See you guys.